Every voice tells a story, but some can truly change lives. Welcome to Beyond Her Story on Wonder Woman Wednesday, where today we explore the enchanting world of Shilpi Das, a voice artist whose command over her vocal range transforms lives across various spheres. Shilpi is not just a renowned voice artist, but also a dedicated coach, a sound healer, POSH and DEI evangelist, and a philanthropic leader. So let us start with this conversation with Shilpi and learn about her journey of using voice to heal, inspire, and advocate for gender harmony and spiritual growth. Welcome, Shilpi, to Beyond Her Story. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
It's equally a pleasure to me because I've been looking forward to it, and I'm so glad you found me worth coming on this platform with you. Thank you so much.
We think that, every woman is extraordinary, and the subject that we have for today is something that we haven't done before, and I'm really excited.
I'm excited too.
So let us start.
Sure.
Yeah, the first question is the line that you've chosen, voiceover, sound. It's not something that everybody actually takes up, right? So what is it that attracted you to this?
See, for this, I think it's my life journey that should be talked about. But it's nothing great. But yeah, I think I evolved as a person, as a profession. Because first, I quit my corporate career.
Okay. For how many years were you working?
I was working for almost a decade, more than 10 years in Mumbai. And then to embrace motherhood, I quit my corporate career. I decided to look after my children, bring them up. But as I started foreseeing the diminishing requirement of mothering them 24/7, something inside me started poking me to start exploring the unexplored. And I was very sure that I'm not going back to the corporate world. And there was a deep introspection. And I think it's only with that introspection and profound connection with ourselves, we realize the unexplored talents that we have, or some aspirations that kind of surge up, push up and tell us to go look for it. And I always had this mindset of learning, and that required a little bit of courage and risk of failure to experiment. I usually used to get a lot of compliment on my voice. I used to sing a lot earlier, but eventually I had stopped singing. So I thought, could I do something creative with my voice? And, the universe sends cues when you're really seeking information and guidance.
True.
So I was reminded time and time again about those reverberating voice of Harish Bhimani. I did not even know Harish Bhimani exists then. I just knew the voice, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, the popular Mahabharata show those days. And then, we are from the same era, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then I thought, what a voice. I wish I could be a voice like that. Then that animation that used to come on DD, Ek Chidiya, and Ek Chidiya. It was such a beautiful tribute to the national integration of the diversity in our country. So I would often wonder, I wish I could be those kind of voices. And I had no idea an industry like voiceover exists, a profession like voiceover artist exists. I had no idol in the industry, no mentor for me. But I started Googling, and thankfully I had an iPad then. Google was on, so I would keep Googling voice, and it led me to voiceover industry. And then I started looking for mentors because I was very sure that just having a good voice is one part of it.
Correct.
But if you're going to launch yourself into a profession that was never your domain, you should seek some professional expertise and guidance.
Absolutely.
So I looked for a mentor, I found one, and I launched myself in that space. And sound was something. It was the next calling because sound is an extension of my domain into voice. The voice is the human voice, is the sound that the human vocal tract produces.
Correct.
And sound is the fundamental reason we all exist. The whole creation was had come into existence. So that's how I connected voice and sound. And I think it just beautifully led me from one path to another. And they are still connected, and I still pursue both.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, I think. Like you rightly said, when you take breaks and when you think, okay, I should, at least think about what I want to do next and really sit and I think that's when your actual true self and whatever you have inside comes out.
Yeah, that is very true, because I think we all need to spend some time with ourselves, know ourselves, what we are inside, who we are inside.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be doing the same thing again and again until,
Yeah, that is so conditioned.
Yeah.
When we do things, what is designed by the society. You're not really living life on your terms.
Very true.
So society expects you to do a job like, okay, you did a B.Ed, go do teaching. No, I didn't want to do teaching. I've done my B.Ed. My mother said, go do teaching. I said, no, I don't want to do teaching.
Yeah, true, very true.
So we need to define why we want to do what we want to do. And I think that gives clarity.
Wow. Nicely put. So Shilpi, now coming to the next thing that you actually do, you also do voiceover coaching, right? So what is that one thing that you help them with that makes them sound better? And how is it, like, if you can give us a bit about what it is actually and how does it help individuals?
Yeah, so since I come from the corporate training background, when I was in Mumbai, I was into corporate training. And then I got into voiceover. I was able to combine both the aspects. First is having hands-on experience of using voice for a different purpose, because voicing is a different skill altogether. Not everybody has it. Okay, you have to know how to do it. You have to learn. You have to get trained where to pause, which word to emote, which word to express, how long to pause, what pitch, how do you variate the pitches from mid to high to low. Okay, so there's a lot of art in that. So I learned that art, I experienced it and developed my expertise. So I could combine that expertise with my ability to train people, because I come from the corporate training background. I don't know, just instinctively I started receiving a lot of inquiries about if I could train people on speaking, helping them speak better. Okay, and today I coach mostly corporate executives who are either C-suite executives or who aspire to enter the C-suite level. Very few of voiceover artists. So what I've been doing in the last so many years is that I'm able to assist them connect with the unexplored range of their voice. Okay. We somehow have not been taught that the human sound, which is voice, is profound and can have profound impact on all the entities, whether living or non-living. Okay. Because that's the most natural sound. It carries the emotions. So it has the power to evoke an emotional response in people, in animals, in plants. So if somebody can master that ability or even develop it to a great extent, they can do wonders with their voice. So I just try to get them connected with themselves, the unexplored range of their voice, and build that ability to understand how much more they can do with their voice rather than just doing the mundane way of talking and speaking and just whatever they have to blabber. So it's an art. It's not about content always, because it's how we deliver the content matters. And how we deliver the content is so much connected with the way you sound. The oral part of communication, that is, that's the missing link, the voice. Most of the time we are not concentrating or focusing on the voice part. So I help them connect with that missing link and develop their ability to sound better, because that is when they are able to connect with their audience. And it's a very enjoyable journey for me. Each client is different. Each client's requirement is different. Each client's background is different. Each client's outcomes desired by them is different. So my approach
is different
for each client is very different.
So when you say the voice, I think one of the main aspects is the tone too, right? Like especially for corporate executives, the way
the major aspects.
So I think that is one more thing that maybe you work on with people.
Yeah, of course, because many a time people are not able to understand that how to differentiate the tone of arrogance from tone of assertion.
That's where I think the main problem starts.
How is tone of timidity different from tone of confidence?
Correct.
So I have designed this course where I touch upon the 12 C's of leadership voice. which includes a lot of these tones like compassion, okay, confidence, conviction, comedy. Because I think one needs to have that sense of humor to be able to connect with people. And somebody who's confident will be able to crack jokes on themselves. So that comic aspect is very important in voice or in the ability of speaking. So those are the things that I touch upon. Though these tones are very important. Okay. So I touch upon those tones and I make them practice. There's a lot of real-time examples that they get from work, and we try to incorporate that and have role plays. It's beautiful, and I have seen tremendous success in my clients.
Which vertical of industry do they look for? Like, for example, if there are software professionals, I'm not sure if people actually look for these things.
That's a good question, because when you mentioned software people, it just made me imagine, okay, they're just silently working on it.
I was a software engineer for 20 plus years, so I wouldn't have even thought of, going for maybe a coaching on voice.
Yes.
Which is why I'm a bit curious about what kind of industry. Hospitality?
No, in fact, interestingly, I get inquiries from all verticals.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because today people are more aware about themselves. People want to grow. People don't want to be sticking to just their one single domain. They want to try so many different things, and there are avenues available. So they definitely want to grow. And growing means coming out of that comfort zone or stereotypical activity that they do every day.
Yeah.
And that requires communication.
True.
That requires them to express their thoughts and ideas. And if they are not able to express their thoughts and ideas in an influential manner, how would they persuade anybody to buy their thoughts and ideas?
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody who aspires to speak, and now I think people want to be speakers.
Yeah.
Especially because TEDx is happening. Everybody wants to be a great speaker. Everybody wants to go up there and speak.
Yes.
Everybody wants to tell, hey, I know so much and I would want to speak. So I think everybody has this secret desire in themselves to be a good speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, whether they are from an industry which doesn't require them to speak, or it requires very least bit of speaking, but they want to speak someday, because I think we're all brimming with ideas.
Yeah.
So anybody who wants to sound better, speak better, influence people, persuade audiences should be able to come for this course. And I have trained people who would not have ever imagined interacting with foreign counterparts in their organizations. Okay. And then they realize, oh, I wish I could speak in a better manner. Okay. Sometimes people realize that in board meetings or very important conferences, they are not able to contribute confidently.
Though they have ideas.
They have ideas. They have brilliant ideas, but they're not able to express themselves. Yeah. Okay. And also a lot of women, because we still have those unconscious biases, which I think we're going to speak. So then those women are not able to vocalize their ideas. So, and mostly I have all women coming to me.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay.
I have trained some very interesting gentlemen, but most of my clients have been women. And I see that women are investing so much more in their self-development.
True.
So anybody who wants to grow in the ladder, grow in their career,
irrespective of the vertical.
Yeah, irrespective of the vertical or their designation, they make the effort. And I get really impressed by those people, because then I see that how much passionately they want to do it.
Yeah. So I think you brought up a very interesting topic in this conversation about women. And since we are Wonder Woman Wednesday, and you do a lot of work on diversity too, right?
I mostly like to inspire people, because I don't find time to be a part of ICs. Yeah. But I would like to bring in a lot of inspiration or perspectives of how we could enjoy the differences than have that dog-eat-dog world between men and women.
Yeah, I agree to it completely. There's a way of doing things, and if it's done in a positive way, it's really beautiful. Yeah. Even I feel the same.
True.
So you are a POSH consultant as well, right?
Yeah, I'm certified and I'm a consultant too. Yeah, but mostly I work on bringing in perspectives or delivering workshops rather than ICs.
So what are your thoughts about, women in the, especially in leadership roles and professional roles? Have you seen women come to you just because they felt that there's a need for them to do these kind of things, extra things, or self-development things, so that they can grow?
Yes, Neha, I still feel that it is largely a man's world.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong in being a man or a woman. And I really don't believe in equality. It might come across as very strange, but I believe in celebrating the differences.
Yeah.
Okay, because nature has wired us very differently. There's no point competing with each other. Genders, I think, is foolishness for genders to compete with each other. Okay, they are wired differently, and men and women have always portrayed their differences in their view of the world, life, attitudes, conduct, responses to different situations. And I think we all come with our strengths and weaknesses, and we should complement each other rather than putting down anyone or even competing with each other or creating this concept of weaker sex, fairer sex. These are all absurd. I didn't even know that there are terms called feminazi and misogyny existing until I heard it from my teenage children.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm so oblivious to these words, misogyny. Then I heard about androids. Yeah.
True.
Then I said, feminazi. I always heard about feminism, and now I know about feminazi also. And I had to Google, what is feminazi?
Yeah, very true.
So there is chauvinism, one extreme, and there is feminism, which is misinterpreted.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about how, as societies, we have grown. And the smallest unit of society is the family.
Yeah.
So my outlook is that I have a son and a daughter both. So both of them must be trained in martial arts. Both of them should be trained in housekeeping, culinary skills.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they should be independent enough to pursue these chores for themselves rather than depending on somebody else.
Very true. Very true.
Okay? So I think I've managed to bring in that equality at home, and I do foresee them to be fiercely neutral when it comes to gender.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think the change should occur from home. Only then we can see it transcending into society, and beyond society into workplaces. So there's a lot that has to be done, but it's all about bringing that change and inspiring that change.
Yeah.
So that is what I like to do as a POSH consultant, inspiring that change in workplaces.
Yeah, that's nice. Actually, there are a few things I think which were in my mind, which you spoke about. One was raising independent kids, irrespective of the gender. Even I believe in that, and I speak about it all the time, even on all the solo podcasts that we do. That irrespective of the gender, you have to teach them both everything. And it's not because, they have to be, it's because he's a boy or she's a girl. It's because they have to be independent. That's the first
absolutely.
thing.
Independent and respectful, because I believe today relationships are also falling apart because we don't have respect for each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sense of harmony and respect is fundamental to even feeling loved in a relationship.
True.
So a loving relationship between a man and a woman, whether it's a husband or a wife, girlfriend or a boyfriend, father and a daughter, brother and a sister, mother and a son, or mother or a son, it can happen only when we have respect towards both the genders.
Yeah.
Okay, so only then we can foster this sense of equality and harmony.
Yeah, very true.
And cooking is a life skill.
Yes.
It is not supposed to be assigned to a gender.
Correct. I think finally, this is what I believe, that we have to raise fearless children.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So Shilpi, in sound healing, I would like to know what is the process in terms of, like, if I want to come to you for a session of sound therapy or sound healing, what is it that I can expect?
See, generally people come with an appointment. So when they call me up through some reference, I always encourage them to do a bit of research on their end to find out what is sound healing. And there's so much available on the net today. They can go ahead and look for it, and, try to gather information, because it is all based upon the science of vibrations.
Correct.
And people are educated, knowledgeable. Once they understand that there is a scientific truth behind sound healing, they come with an open mind. And they also come with questions. So I generally start with about 10-15 minutes of giving them information about the scientific principle of sound healing, how they are going to benefit, what happens to their body. So there's a lot of science there, and that opens up their mind to receiving it. It's just not about the therapy, just not about the process, but also about knowing it in advance before you enter into the session. They have questions. I try to answer all the questions. And then, depending upon what outcomes they desire from the session, I choose to give them the therapy. Okay. So it could be brainwave relaxation, it could be chakra healing, it could be mind detox, it could be anything to do with probably a digestive disorder. So depending on that, I choose what to do. So once we decide which therapy will be done, I select the bowls, and now these bowls are called the Himalayan singing bowls. And we also use in some sessions gongs, and there are some percussion instruments as well, small instruments that we use. So these give out different frequencies. Each instrument gives out a signature frequency. And by virtue of the metal alloy composition, the make in terms of the body of the instrument, especially in bowls, they are of different sizes, different thickness. So, and each has a frequency, a signature frequency. So we place it around the body of the person lies down. Okay. We place it around the body of the person. Sometimes the bowls are placed on their body, on certain parts. And then we begin the striking the bowls. Okay. And with the strike of the bowls, the whole process produces a symphony of pure frequencies. Okay. That go and tune up with different body parts. Okay. And that has the power to alter the brainwave pattern. Okay. And once the person comes out of the session, he or she generally feels a very heightened sense of relaxation. Some people have levitating experience. A calmness. A different kind of calmness. Some people have a floating experience. They feel that they were floating somewhere in the universe. Yeah. Some people have visuals also. They see colors and images. Okay. Some people have some memories triggered. Some people get emotional. Yeah. So people have different experiences. So it lasts for about, say, an hour. And depending upon the person's state of mind, it could be shorter or longer as well. I generally try to keep it an hour's long session because that state that they go into, the deep meditative state, is very difficult to achieve by oneself, especially in today's stressful life. So if they achieve the state of stillness and they are in that trance-like state, I allow them to rest. And then probably after an hour, I bring them back to consciousness. Because that heals them. Yeah.
So I think this is as good as meditation, because even people who meditate have this experience of seeing colors and go into that state of calmness. So
yes. Yeah, you're right. See, Sneha, you're practicing meditation from last 2.5 years, so you know how it feels. Somebody like me, I'm always so anxious and in a state of excitement. It has been very difficult for me to attain a state of calmness. Today, I feel calm after working with sound so intensely. I feel that I've attained a state of calmness inside me. But there was a time when it was very difficult for me to meditate, sit in silence. But I also learned Kriya Yoga. I try to practice that as well as frequently as possible. And now when I go into that meditative zone, I can hear birds chirping in my mind, although there are no birds around me, but I can hear birds chirping. And that's that heightened state of meditation. It is meditation, but when we practice meditation, we do it by self.
Yeah, correct.
We don't have an external intervention.
Yeah.
We can attain it by practicing. Sound healing is an external intervention because it functions on the principle of entrainment. Resonance. So it's like the fact that you are a body that is vibrating 24/7, and when the instruments vibrate with you, your mind is tuning up with those frequencies, and your mind reaches an altered state of consciousness. So it takes you to that meditative state. By an external intervention.
Got it.
And physically also you benefit because these frequencies are introduced back into your body, which might have gone missing due to stress. So that's how you benefit from sound healing. Yes, you achieve a meditative state, plus physically also you benefit.
And does this happen in like a one-on-one session, group sessions?
Both. So one-on-one sessions, I told you how it happens. And every person that comes has their individual goals and outcomes that they desire. Group sessions are very good when a community wellness or collective heightened consciousness is the goal to be reached.
Okay.
Especially it works wonders with teams in various organizations, because the teams will have team goal.
Yeah.
They will have productivity goals. They will have a lot of issues within themselves, competition. Okay. So we talk about team spirit. And here sound healing works wonderfully, because when so many bodies are vibrating at the same frequency, syncing with each other at the same time, and they come back to consciousness after the sound healing session in the group, that heightened collective consciousness makes them feel in sync with each other. And that fosters camaraderie, fosters a feeling of being together, belongingness within the team.
Yeah.
And that will definitely enhance the productivity.
Correct.
So the group sessions work in a different way if they are from the same team. And also if there are groups where individuals are coming from different background, it still generates or promotes a feeling of wellness, a collective community feeling, which is wonderful and much needed today.
Yeah. I think corporates should definitely incorporate these kind of things, because
they should.
Yeah, there are a lot of people going through stress when they work.
Exactly.
Stressed out in work and things
In
like
fact, I recommend this becomes a part of their wellness programs for their teams on a regular basis.
Correct. Yeah, it actually makes sense.
Yeah. Because now corporates are waking up to this kind of wellness. Earlier it was always professional goals, intellect. Then they moved on to harnessing the emotional intelligence. Then we started focusing on mental health.
Yeah.
This is to do with the spirit. Because if the spirit is nurtured, your mental health, emotional health, intellect, everything is taken care of. And then your physical health is always better when all these faculties are good.
True. So that brings me to the next question, since you spoke about spiritual well-being. So that's another thing that you are into, spiritual coach. You are a spiritual coach as well.
Yeah.
So how does one ensure that, you're on a path to spiritual well-being?
First, it's very important to understand that spirituality has got nothing to do with being religious.
Yeah.
It's unlike being religious.
True.
Because being spiritual means you are in harmony with yourself.
Right.
You know who you are deep within.
Correct.
And you know who you want to be in the future. And you make the necessary changes to evolve and become a better version of yourself. And you know your strengths and weaknesses. Okay? That is what is called being spiritual, where you know yourself. You're not blaming anybody else.
Correct. Yeah.
You take ownership and responsibility of yourself, and you're nourishing your spirit continuously to keep evolving.
Yeah.
You have the courage to not pretend. You have the courage to not conform to social conditionings.
Correct.
Okay, you have the courage to live life on your own terms without being religious.
Yeah.
Even if you're religious, it's fine, but it's not about being religious. So that's one thing that we need to understand. And first, we also need to accept after this is that we are spiritual beings.
Yeah.
We are not physical beings. We are spiritual beings. And we have to nurture our spirit. Spirit cannot be seen. We are so much forever focused on the physical body that we can touch, see, and feel. That's what is reality for us.
True.
What we cannot see doesn't appeal to us.
Yeah.
But we have to start understanding that we are spiritual beings, and our spiritual wellness is of utmost importance. So, we live life through these 5 senses that we perceive the world through.
Yeah.
So the sense of touch, extremely important. I've seen conventional, traditional families where they don't encourage hugging each other. But it's so important. Human touch is so important. Even your pet will respond to it.
Correct.
Holding a baby, even if you have grown-up children, hugging them, holding them at times. That intimacy between spouses, parents and children, siblings, friends. And it is not about sexual intimacy.
Correct.
It is about just feeling compassionate, loving towards another human being.
Yeah.
Okay? So a touch can make you feel that the other person is touching me with compassion and concern.
Yeah.
Okay? Because this is, I'm sending you my vibrations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm receiving good ones.
So that touch is so important. Second is what we smell. Okay. We can be probably influenced by the smell of a cigar, or we can be influenced by the smell of nice jasmine flowers around.
Yeah.
Okay. What we choose tells us where we have reached, where we have evolved, how far we have evolved. Okay, so whether it's aroma oil, flowers, incense, the smell of good food. Like I remember somebody seasoning in coconut oil. I love the smell of coconut oil. It makes, I don't know, I feel going and looking at what is being cooked. I want to eat that.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere it is triggering some senses.
True.
So if it is good, then it's good. You should feel the spirit being nurtured by this smell.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another aspect of living spiritually. Then it is about what you taste and speak. It's your tongue.
Okay.
Okay. So given a choice between French fries and a bowl of cucumber and carrots, which one do you choose? If you choose French fries, you know how much you have evolved. If you choose this, you know where you are. Okay. But for that, we need to be very conscious, because everything that we eat is impacting our existence.
Okay. That's deep.
Yeah. Because, you know, we have heard this saying so many times, we are what we eat.
Correct.
Right? So everything that we eat is triggering some senses, it's impacting our existence and wellness. So which is nourishing your spirit? We need to choose that. And it's vice versa. When we choose this over this, we know that we are moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it is the sense of being in the beauty of nature, the visual treat. What do we like to see? Do we like to see the mountains, the stars, the sky, the sea, the river, the waterfall, the greenery, the birds? What do we like to see? The flowers. If we are so stuck to just watching a movie, addictively watching all the content on Insta or mobile or internet, it's just flooded with so much of content. What are we consuming it? What are we feeding our brain?
Yeah.
Also matters.
True.
So again, what is the choice we are making there? Watching a movie for entertainment is a good idea, but if you are continuously binge watching, that means somewhere there is a issue of addiction.
Yeah.
You're escaping.
You're not able to get out of it.
You're not balancing.
Yeah.
You're just escaping. Okay. So that escape mechanism doesn't work. You need to balance. Entertainment is important, but too much of entertainment is
not
a problem.
It's not
that
good.
Speaks a lot about where you are as a spiritual person. Okay, so that consumption visually is very important. And finally, the ears. What kind of sound and music you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Even people fighting with each other. If you're constantly in an environment where you only get to hear fights and quarrels and curse words, which have very negative vibrations, it will impact.
Yeah. Even when kids play games, right?
Yeah.
If it's too much of violence, somewhere it impacts.
Exactly. The violent sounds, those are noise, because sounds are supposed to be uplifting you.
Yeah.
If the sound is not uplifting you, it has a negative connotation, then it is noise.
Yeah. True.
Okay. So the environment, so with this, we are creating our environment. So what your environment you're in matters a lot. Okay. So the choice of words, choice of people around us, choice of consumption, visually, orally, all this matters. Okay. So I think it's very important that we sit in silence with our eyes closed, even if we don't intend to meditate or practice meditation, but just sit in silence with ourselves and go look deep within ourselves. It gives us a lot of insights and triggers that intuitive wisdom that we most of the time ignore, because we are forever crowded with thoughts. There's cacophony inside us, that cacophony outside us.
Yeah.
So I think sitting in silence and developing that intuitive wisdom is very important to spiritual living.
Yeah, I think that's very well put, Shilpi, especially the part I knew about each aspect which contributes to our well-being in terms of food, you know, what you consume and what you watch. So I do believe in all that, but I think all the senses coming together, it takes you to a different level, I'm sure. I hadn't thought about it in that way.
Combined way, all of them,
So it actually makes sense. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Yeah. So now we'll go to another aspect of yours. I think you are into so many things and such interesting things. Plus you're giving back through your foundation, the Charista Foundation. So if you can tell us a bit about what it is and what are the initiatives that you do under this foundation.
First of all, I must appreciate you for pronouncing the name rightly. Charista Foundation.
Though the spelling was a bit misleading.
Yeah, generally CH is pronounced as Ch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is K from the glottis. Charista.
Okay.
Charista is a Greek name. It means charity, giving, and kindness. So we chose this as the name of our foundation. And two of us came together and co-founded this public charitable trust as we found synergy between us in terms of the independent social activities that we were carrying out, because we believe in individual social responsibility. Then we decided that we should come together, formally have a foundation, and then start working together further. So we co-founded Charista Foundation. We produced a film called Poonam, which is a social short for 15 minutes. You'll get to see on 1st October. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So this film has bagged over 30 national and international awards.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it brings in a lot of insights into this issue of loneliness in the aging population, how lack of companionship and loneliness is detrimental to their well-being. Okay. So that is one major cause that we are working on, and we launched the National Symposium on Elder Psychological Wellbeing in 2022 in the Constitution Club of India. It was on the 1st of October that time, because 1st of October is marked by United Nations as the International Day of Older Persons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we decided to host this program once in 2 years. Next one is this time on 1st October again in Bangalore International Center. I'll send you the invitation.
Yes, sure.
So we bring in people from various faculties and verticals, like the student communities, the educationists, the governing bodies, corporates, media, legal fraternity, medical fraternity. All of us come together to brainstorm, to understand that everybody will go through that aging process.
True.
Are we doing something to combat loneliness, or are we going to brood about it when we are there in that state?
Very true.
Okay, because right now we are busy.
Yeah.
But when we are in that state, when we have retired, our children have moved away, they're busy in their lives, and probably most of us could be single because the spouse has passed away. How are we looking at living life?
Yeah.
Okay, again, it's a matter of choice. So, and how has the society evolved in terms of making elderly people feel inclusive in the society and worth living, even if they are single? How is their knowledge and experience and wisdom harnessed? Okay, so these are the aspects that we are working on. So the reason being lack of companionship in that stage, when children have moved away, a spouse is no more, a person doesn't have purpose for living, feels lonely because there's no companion.
Yeah.
So that lack of companionship leads them to loneliness. Loneliness leads them to depression. Depression leads them to memory loss. And then all the other ailments begin. Okay, even the caregivers have so much challenge dealing with people who are struck with memory loss, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. And all this leads to expedited death. Come to think of it, everybody is going to be aging and lonely one day.
Yeah.
Okay, but we need to do something about it. So also the fact that we would want to bring in some solace for the caregivers, because it's a challenging job for them.
Yes.
So from Charista Foundation also we do sound healing for dementia patients and their caregivers, because we want to promote the idea of wellness through sound healing. Sound healing is extremely beneficial for people suffering with dementia. Yeah, it's proven, scientifically proven. Okay, so that's what we do. Another aspect of Charista Foundation's work is into adopting artisans who are struggling to keep art alive. There are a lot of handicrafts which are dying today.
Yeah.
Because we no more support them. Earlier in the ancient days, they would be artists and artisans would be supported by the royalties, nobles, aristocrats. And today, philanthropists have to support them, corporates have to support them, government bodies have to support them. So we try to identify those artisans who don't have the support, and we try to support them. Like one of the art forms is Cherial painting and Cherial masks from Telangana.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the dying handicrafts of India. So we try to support them. And we also support performing artists who are lesser known, underprivileged. So that's another project that we're working on. So these are the three main aspects that we work on from Charista Foundation. And it's just been 3 years. There's lots to accomplish, Sneha. We have just done this bit of it, not much. But yes, with the support of like-minded people like you and a lot of other people who support us, we hope to together reach somewhere that we desire to.
That's amazing work, Shilpi, because one thing is to talk about something, and then one thing is to actually do it, which you're doing. So hats off to you. And I think very less number of people think about the elderly and what they go through. So I think that's definitely an initiative which is different from what we see the other foundations doing. So it's a great thought.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Sita.
So I've learned so much in today's session that I don't have enough words to say about it. But this conversation has been amazing, and I have a lot of takeaways, and I'll definitely come to you for a session because I just want to know how, like I said, I'm interested in this, and I would definitely love to try it out.
You must. You have to come to my healing center to experience sound healing. You must come and attend the 1st October program in Bangalore International Center. And of course, it has been an enriching experience for me as well, Sneha. Hats off to women like you who bring other women in the limelight. And thank you for thinking me worth being a part of your platform that you have created with so much love.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shilpi.
Thank you.
And I think people who want to get in touch with you, we'll leave the link in the description.
Sure.
Because I'm sure, if corporates listen to this, I want them to, give it a thought and wellness.
Sound healing could be a good program for them to include it as their wellness regime.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stress there. Yes, and we must promote this whole idea of wellness through sound healing for the teams.
Yeah. So thank you once again, Shilpi. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Samya, thank you so much.
Thank you.